Hey there, nerds. Jimmy Palmquist here. Another week, another episode of Star Wars The Acolyte. This was episode 7 called Choice. We finally learned the truth. And let me tell you, never before has, from a certain point of view, been more important. Let's start with Osha and May. When we originally saw these events depicted, it was from Osha's point of view of what May had done, as far as Osha knew. And that was essentially set a fire and trap her in her room and basically say, we're not going to let this happen, with the idea in Osha's mind that she was going to tear it all down so that Osha would not leave. And that's what Osha was led to believe. Obviously, that's what Saul decided was the best for her. Um, Actually, it was Master Indara who thought that was the best for her since she'd lost everything. Why would you take away that last thing that she wanted, was to become a Jedi? So that whole group colluded to create this lie. Now, it's not a huge lie as far as the events depicted were a clusterfuck. A lot of bad decisions. Nothing really nefarious, but we do see that the Jedi are fallible again. Like, it is a concussion of bad decisions that lead to the events that happened. They're on a planet just trying to figure out why life grew from nothing. And then Saul discovers Osha and May, follows them back, literally breaks in to their home to check out what's going on, discovers the Coven of Witches, reports back. Indara is basically like, leave it alone. Saul won't let it go because he wants Osha to be safe. He feels a connection to her. There's also a weird line in here where Saul is kind of challenging Indara's um, teaching of her Padawan, and Indara looks at him and is like, "Well, maybe that's why you don't have a Padawan." And I'm like, "That's not very Jedi-like. That's something you'd see in like junior high or high school, or even a normal workplace. Not the Jedi." So we're definitely seeing the Jedi in a different light. And as circumstances go, Saul convinces Indara that they need to at least investigate further. We learn that Indara had absolutely no intention of bringing either of the twins back to Coruscant. In fact, she was using Saul's idea of a test to gain more information and to wait on Jedi Council decisions. So things just spiral out of control. We see Kalnaka fight with his lightsaber, which I've been waiting to see. Unfortunately, it's against the Jedi. It does explain a little more of why Torben has the scars on his face. And then Indara comes in and basically saves the day, but she didn't see everything that happened. Kalnaka did not see everything that happened. He was possessed by the witches. And then Saul, or the final decision is basically Indara tells Saul, go get the twins. There's obviously something going on here. The reason why I believe the reason why she caved is because they seem to be the virgins. They're the ones that are basically the whole reason they're on that planet is to find why life grew from nothing. And Indara's solution is, well, let's take the twins back to the Jedi Council. They've already found that their midi-chlorian count is through the roof. But not only that, they're not just twins, but they're the exact same makeup. So they want to investigate more. Now, unfortunately, as the spiraling gets out of hand, we do see May and Osha, and May confronts Osha, but now we learn more of May's side of the story in that she did not intend to set the fire in that way. She just wanted to light the book on fire, Osha's journal, because she was very pissed off at Osha, understandably. But it grew out of hand. May went to go get help, runs into the Coven, her mother, confronting Saul and Torben, and oh my God, hell breaks loose. The witches were prepared. Mother Coral basically had set them up to defend the palace, and again, the Jedi broke in. So, what would you do, basically? So the Coven's ready to defend their home, and Mother Anasea comes in, and she's starting to use her powers and goes sort of wispy, and I guess Saul panicked, not exactly sure, but he sticks his lightsaber in her and she dies. And it was kind of a surprise because I thought she was sort of ethereal at the point, but no, she was still had a body and corporeal, and she dies. And that's where May comes in and sees the chaos. That's where Mother Coral then lights it all up. They have the fight. The Coven take over Kalnaka's brain and abilities and start fighting the Jedi. And as all of this going down, the Coven's home is burning down because of May's accident with the book. And that's where we see Master Indara come down, save the day, rescue Master Kalnaka, get Torben, yells at Saul, go get the twins. And as he runs to go find the twins, he finds them at that point where they're on the separated bridge, basically reaching for each other. And now, from his point of view, you can see he's trying to save both of them by using the Force to keep the bridge elevated. Obviously, it's too much strain. He can only pick one. He chooses Osha. The bridge with May falls. He rushes to save Osha. Now Osha's saved. Get back to the ship. Osha's unconscious. The group, basically led by Master Indara, decide they must lie, tell their version of the story from a certain point of view to protect Osha and essentially give her her last wish, but also to find out the source of this vengeance. You can tell Saul and Torben are conflicted. I'm not sure about Kalnaka, but he goes along, obviously, and it becomes very apparent why May was able to track them down and why they had their own guilt once she confronted each of them. Now, how does that play into Khmer? Not exactly sure yet, but one thing that this episode showed is the Coven isn't necessarily gone. When Indara stepped in to save Kalnaka, it looked like they were just all knocked unconscious, except for Mother Anasea. She was definitely stabbed by a lightsaber. Unless there's something else going on that she could have survived, cool. But the Coven itself just looked like they were knocked unconscious, and in the quickness to get out of the fire, the explosions, all that, they didn't check anything. Master Saul just took Osha to the ship. So, where this leads us, I'm not entirely sure. I would like to think that the Coven is behind Khmer, specifically Mother Kirill, and I find that fascinating. But we'll find out. There's one episode left. I really like this storytelling. I know there's a huge negative response out there. I'm not sure if it was because people just didn't like the idea of the story in the first place. They just hate the idea of Disney telling Star Wars stories. They just didn't like it because the story wasn't complete yet because they're chiming in after a couple episodes. I have no clue. But this is a good, solid story so far. Obviously, it hinges on the last episode. But even if the last episode falls short, this has entertained me. And that's all I want out of my Star Wars. And we're learning new information, more about the High Republic, more about a Star Wars universe that we've never seen before. So I'm excited to learn more. Can't wait to see what happens in the finale. I really want to see how Saul, Osha, May, and Khmer are all wrapped up. Yeah, I'm excited. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Nerd out.